special guest tonight. Pero before that, kailangan ko malaman kung nakikita niya ako. Kita mo ako, Papa? Wala pa. Alright. Alright. Let me introduce our special guest. I'm gonna bring him in the picture, and hopefully makikita na niya. Alright, our special guest is a legend from the South, in particular Cebu City, and he is a former teammate, and his son is my arch rival growing up. And this family is a powerhouse. So when he was the team, he has experienced everything, being a top rider, being a coach of Motodad, being a team captain, whom I think the only time Shell Yama got beat was because he led yung kalaban namin, which is the Mobile Honda, and they became the team race champion because of this guy. And now he is a premier national race organizer based there in Visayas and Mindanao. So anyway, ang dami kong tanong ang dami kong gustong matutunan sa kanya. So I'm gonna bring him in. His name is none other than the legend of Philippine motocross, PEPO RUBI. Papa,
Ay,
kita mo ako?
wala, hindi pa rin eh.
Oh my goodness!
Oo. Sa Tamayo lang yung picture mo nakikita ko. Pero anyway, di bale, magandang gabi, Pilipinas.
Okay, I'll tell you who are watching right now. So ito, makilala mo, Coach Dodong Galia,
Okay,
ah,
go.
Mama Osang Gabriel, Lolo Peps daw.
Oy, Osang, good evening.
So guys, ito yung problema namin. We are trying to figure, hindi ako makita ni Kuya Pepo. So ngayon,
Yeah,
hindi rin niya makita yung sarili niya.
I'm
So,
looking on blank, talaga.
so here's what. Kung ano yung tanong nila, I'm gonna read to you. And so far, maganda yung reception natin. You look good. And mukhang bata ka pa, Papa.
Yeah. Sana lang yan siguro
Alright.
sa camera.
Kuya Pepo,
Yeah.
where did you grow up? Where? And how did you start?
Well, I was born and raised dito sa Cebu City mismo. In a middle class, hindi naman middle class family, pero, well, in a good family siguro. But etong bahay namin is originally where I was born. And so, dito ako sa Cebu City. I'm a native of Cebu City. Sam. Yeah, ako siguro nawawala.
I'm back, Kuya Pepo. Sorry.
Yeah,
Grabe yung signal. Naglipat
well,
ako to my
mabagal
data.
eh. Pati dito sa amin, dito sa Cebu. Ewan ko, buong Cebu siguro or dito lang sa amin ang mabagal.
Okay.
So,
Kuya Pepo, how is there? Kamusta after pandemic, lockdown? Okay naman kayo? Things are
sa
getting back to
ngayon,
normal?
sa ngayon it's normal. Lalong dumadami yung mga Cebuano eh. Dahil nagsiuwian yung mga LSI. So, siguro additional population sa Cebu City yun. So, dumadami tuloy yung mga Cebuano. Pero, well, okay naman. Bottom line is okay. Maganda. And hopefully tuloy-tuloy na itong economy natin. And para bumalik na yung mga events at balik na tayo sa normal. Dahil sa ngayon, wala. As a rider and as a organizer, wala. Puro gutom lahat in the sport of motocross.
Exactly. We're gonna get there later, okay? Pero before we get there, as an organizer, let's go back in time. I had your brother, Andot, and we heard a little bit about how you guys started. Pero I wanna hear from you. How did it all start sa iyo? dirt bikes, paano nangyari? Where was this? What was your first bike? Can you make kwento kung paano nagsimula lahat? Did you fall in love with dirt bikes kaagad or did you start with BMX? Come on, tell us.
Yeah, actually I started from BMX. Doon
Okay.
nagsimula ang love ko sa, racing on two wheels.
Mhm.
Dahil it started on a BMX. Hindi pa BMX nung araw, wala pang BMX nung araw, kundi yung basta bisikleta and
May
we
pedal.
yeah, may pedal. Wala pa, hindi pa uso yung BMX. Tapos we
Mhm.
organized races dito sa barangay namin dahil we were called the Mabolo Bikers Club.
Mhm.
Marami kami.
Mhm.
So it started then from bisikleta to,
Mhm.
hanggang ngayon, to motocross. So siguro doon nag-umpisa lahat sa BMX, sa bisikleta. Yung love ko doon sa
Okay,
two
what
wheels.
year was this?
What
Right. When
year?
was this? Do you remember? Yeah.
Um,
Around, ballpark
well, 1970 siguro dahil I
70s.
was I was 13 or 14
Mhm.
when I started yun sa bisikleta.
All
And
right.
ngayon I'm 30 plus. Huwag mo na lang tanongin kung ilan yung plus. Basta 30 plus ako. So it started when I was 14. So
Uh-huh.
yun, doon kami dito sa plaza, sa may tabi ng simbahan. Doon kami
Mhm.
gumawa ng racetrack dahil yung pare nung araw is mahilig din sa bisikleta.
Mhm.
So doon, it started from there. Every
Mhm.
afternoon doon kami tumatambay, bibisikleta kami, wili-wili.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hanggang doon, everything started there.
I
So
think yes, Papa. I think it's a natural transition talaga yung bisikleta eh. Everyone starts sa bike, no? And
mostly,
then
yes, most motocrossers come from bisikleta eh.
BMX, 'di ba? Ngayon,
BMX,
yeah, naging BMX na.
BMX. So, ewan
Okay,
ko,
so how did you transition to, bicycle na may makina? Did off-road or motocross agad?
hindi,
Sino? Sige.
hindi. Dahil our father bought us our first motorcycle, 1979 at Suzuki TS 125.
Okay. Wow.
And from there, hindi namin pwedeng gamitin dahil motor ng airport namin yun eh. So ako and Andot, di ba,
Mhm.
lagi kaming nag-aabang kung ano yung ipapagawa ni daddy namin para lang magamit namin yung motor.
Mhm.
So, dahil first motorcycle, first bike yun eh.
Yeah.
Brand new nung araw.
Grabe.
Nung araw, he bought it March 1979 at the cost of
Mhm.
7,000. So kung ngayon, tipin ko ngayon, naku, kung ganun pa lang yung presyo na yun, siguro lahat ng tao may motor. So, when my father died, doon na namin nagamit yung motor. When my father died, 1981,
Mhm.
doon ako nag-start. Kami ni Andot, doon kami nag-start na magamit namin yung motor on weekends. Pero trail riding, trail lang. Minsan ako, minsan si Andot, on
Mhm.
one bike, on one motorcycle.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
from there, trail
Mhm.
riding muna. After trail riding, flat track.
Mhm.
Kaya flat track ako unang natuto
Mhm.
from instead sa motocross. Dahil yung motor
Mhm.
namin is, yun lang ang kaya. Hindi naman kayang 3 inches lang yung travel ng suspension eh. So, wala pang
Yep,
supercross
yep.
o puro motocross. Ang lalaki ng mga jumps. So, hindi pwede. So, we
Mm.
started flat track racing dito sa Mandawi area. Malapit lang dito. And then, yung transition into motocross. Dahil, wala.
Right.
Yung mga kasama mong flat trackers are all motocrossers din eh. So, kung saan sila pupunta, nandun ka rin.
Right, right.
So, from
I'm
there,
showing,
it's history.
yeah, Papa, I'm showing you yung pinadala mo sa akin picture you on flat track and putik siya and you're on green helmet, open face.
Yeah,
Grabe. Those were the days.
yeah, it's an
And
RM.
vintage.
It's an RM 125. It's an RM
Mm.
125 1980 model. So on
Grabe.
those days, kung you're on that bike, para kang you're on a, ano, uh, yung mga yung mga racing bike na yan is gold, kumbaga. So
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
on it, talagang you're feeling mo you're on top of the
You're
world na dahil
yeah,
hindi pa
correct.
uso racing bike eh. Puro
Mhm.
enduro kalaban mo, tapos ikaw naka-racing bike. So parang, you know,
Grabe 'yun.
yung feeling mo, ewan ko, hindi ko ma-explain nung araw kung ano yung feeling mo when you're on those kind of motorcycles.
Alright. So, Papa, you were naturally attracted sa two wheels, nag-transition sa motor, and then you bought your dad's bike, and then when sadly, sorry to hear that, when he passed away, dun kayo
Yeah.
nag-ride. Pero weekends lang, mostly trail, and then flat track. When was the first motocross race? And who was the guy na you guys parang ginamit na introduce you to who sino yung nag siguro niyaya kayo sa race, or I don't know, mentored you in a sense, or wala, kayo lang talaga, you are the pioneer?
Hindi. Merong maraming riders na in Cebu that time.
Okay.
So, parang meron akong in-idolize na mga riders.
Mhm.
And they were also my mentors dahil sila yung nagturo sa akin ng mga techniques on how to ride. Dahil sila yung nauna. Like sila
Mm.
Jubal Abiliar, they were one of my mentors, they were one of my teachers. And some
Mhm.
guy named Rudy Sanchez, which already passed away. So these
Mm.
guys were, sila yung mga, kumbaga, my teachers in motocross.
Right,
And
right, right.
mga anak nila ngayon, sila Juvenil and Giovanni Abiliar are racing, but the dad is not racing anymore. They own the Motofix
Mhm.
motorcycle shop here in Cebu, and sila yung mga
Mhm.
malakas na araw dito.
Nice, nice. So, Papa,
Yeah.
when was your first national race? And then sino yung ang mga naaalala mo na kalinya mo rito, kabatch mo? You
Okay.
remember?
Yeah, maganda yun dahil my first national race was the first camel motocross sa Pilipinas.
What year?
Sisap pa nung araw. The first race for the first camel nationals, dumayo kami dyan sa Manila, was November 1984,
Mm.
the first camel motocross.
Wow.
Kaya
Grabe.
sisap pa.
84.
Sisap pa may hawak noon. Sisap pa. So, ang experience ko with those days riding with the nationals was the CSAP rules, matindi yung rules nila nung araw eh. Ang
Okay.
rules ng CSAP
Can you
was,
elaborate on that?
okay, the rules ng CSAP was 2 consecutive first places in one race. The next race, the next leg,
Novice ka na.
you will be elevated to the next category. In which, nung araw, there was no novice, there was no beginner's class.
Mm.
Everybody will start on the novice category.
Fair enough.
So, November 1984, novice ako, nag-first ako November. So, on December, bumalik kami, novice pa rin, I got first place.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yes. So, on January 1985, intermediate na ako. I got, I got still first place. On February 1985, intermediate, first place pa rin ako. I got four first places na. On the fifth leg, on that 1985 Camel Motocross, I was
Pro ka
already
na. Expert ka na.
expert. Yeah, expert. So,
Grabe.
yeah. So, yung challenge, yung experience mo has to be, every time you race,
Mm.
talagang i-input mo lahat dahil ang kalaban mo yung mga big guys sila ang dami.
Butch Chase.
Si
Rene La
Buckley,
Chica.
sila Renela Chica, Redan Lopez, those were the
Redan
top
Lopez.
guys in motocross nung araw. Sila Jovi, Jolette, sila Ernie noon were not that top yet. Pero nananalo na sila but they were not the threat.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined in that, I was number 22. Now,
Wow.
yeah, I was number 22. And on the CSAP nung araw, you get your points, you get your number. Is based on the points accumulated, what you accumulated for this year.
Okay.
So if you want to be number one, you have to win all races. You know, dahil
Mm-hmm.
hindi katulad ngayon na points accumulation, ikaw yung rider of the year, you'll still get your number. Kung ano yung number mo, number 5 ka, you'll still get your number 5. Pero iba, noon, I started number 22. The next year, I was 18. The following year, I was 11. And next year, I was from 11 to number 7, then number 4, and I dominated number 4 for 7 years.
Wow.
So I got number 3 once before yata Camel close
Mm-hmm.
in year 2000 yan. 2000 ba yun? The last
Mm-hmm.
Camel.
Mm-hmm.
So I got, before Camel ended, I got the number 5 position in the country. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm using the number 5 ngayon. Dahil that's yun yung last number gamit ko in the nationals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That this Kuya Pepo, this leads me to somehow knowing you personally, you are such a role player in the team.
Na,
Role player in a sense that you always have, you know, another guy na parang hindi naman sa pinagbibigyan, but you are okay with, supporting as long as a teammate will win.
mm,
Do you think that's where did you learn that? I mean, um, others kasi I just want to win. I don't care about teammates.
yeah,
Kasi imagine you're so long in fourth place, but I remember watching as a kid, you're winning one race, you're gonna win, and you have what it takes to win.
yeah,
Pero other times you were just there in the start gate. Sometimes, uh, seems like you could have, alam mo, ikaw go ahead. Pero I don't know. You seem to look at all the other riders and you seem to be very loyal dun sa team. And basta ka teammate, you will settle. Parang ganun. Would you think that's who you are?
Um, before kasi, wala akong pakialam kung mag-rider of the year or whatever. Dahil what I just wanted during those days was talagang just to race. Regardless kung sino manalo or matalo, basta I just wanna race.
Mhm. Pure
So,
passion.
yeah, so I was in the Shell Racing team. That happened 1989 dahil I was already in the expert 1985 at wala akong sponsor. So I retired from racing nationals dahil mahirap pumunta ka ng national and lahat ng karera dati was in Manila eh. So
Mhm.
yung expenses mo to and from is mahirap pag wala kang sponsor. So
Too much. Yeah.
after that one race in the expert class I joined, after that hindi na ako bumalik dahil nakikita ko sarili ko na wala akong major sponsor. Well, I had a sponsor which was Makoy Larasabal from Ormoc. He
Mhm.
was the one who brought me to the nationals. But after that, after yung na-expert na ako, everything stopped dahil si Makoy was not also interested in, joining the whole series. Pero
Mhm.
ako, I wanna race dahil yun lang ang gusto kong mangyari, to race.
Yeah.
But I can't dahil wala akong sponsor, wala akong motor, wala akong, expenses to do. So I retired from
Okay.
85, 86, 87, 88. Retired ako from, racing, nationals. So
Mhm.
I went into business, into dun sa Zamboanga going to Malaysia, yung barter trading.
Okay.
And that was an
Okay.
experience. That was an experience then. year 2000, year 1989, Jovi Saulog, invited me to join the Shell team. So I
I
said,
have
maybe,
here the picture.
yeah, so maybe this is the break I want, sa gusto ko, sa sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined Shell. And doon sa
Yeah.
sinasabi mong, I have the potential winning, yes, okay, but if you're in a big team, there's rules and there's teamwork. So you have to be a team player. Hindi pwedeng I wanna
Right.
win, kunin ko na
Yeah.
lang. So hindi pwede.
Right.
Dahil
Right.
meron kang teammates and there's a management decision, there's a
Mm.
racing decision. Maraming decision gagawin before you do what you want eh. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it was an experience then, actually.
Right. Right. So, what's really cool during that time, during that era, if you come to think of it, Kuya Pepo, Ernie, Jolet, and Jovi, they're from Manila, and most of the series are in Manila. And
Mm-hmm.
here is a lone kid, bata ka pa nun, from Cebu. And then, you know, there's that feeling na they have always an advantage in a sense na, home court, pelo Tagalog, and then probably, I don't know, I really don't know. Pero I think I can relate to that na you were parang mas hindi advantage na position, but you were killing it during
An,
that time.
an
Do you
underdog.
agree? Yep.
Yeah.
Under.
Dahil ako lang, of all the 22 experts, ako lang ang, kumbaga, Bisaya. Ako lang ang
Exactly.
from the province. The whole 21 riders expert. Wala pang pro nung araw eh. Expert
Mhm.
lang. So the whole 21 expert riders are all from NCR.
Mhm.
And they were sons of rich parents. So ako
Yeah,
lang,
family.
ako lang is I
Out of
just,
place a little.
out of place lagi. Dahil number one, Bisaya, and hindi ako
Yeah.
marunong mag-Tagalog.
Yeah,
Lagi
yeah.
ako kinakantsawan ng grupo.
Mhm.
But everything sa loob-loob ko, di bali-bala na. This is what I want in life.
Right,
Gusto
right.
kong maging rider. Gusto kong
Mm.
kumarera kahit saan. Gusto kong kumarera, to be in this industry. So it's a dream come true for me. So
Mhm.
I was an underdog and maybe siguro that was a challenge
Okay.
to be in that, group of
Right.
people in the industry.
You know what, Kuya Pepo, now with the listeners, ngayon ko na realize, just interviewing you now, knowing you, and then kinokone-connect ako kasi in a sense na feel ko yung kami naman from Manila and then yung Cebu Boardwalk, it's
Yeah,
based in Cebu.
yeah.
Kami pupunta diyan. Kami ni Jing kind of feel na ang hirap nung ganito, no? Yung
Parang
parang
out of place din kayo,
out of
ano?
place kami kasi
Uh,
hindi rin kami marunong mag-Bisaya, kami naman Tagalog. And then
yeah,
pagdating namin ng racetrack, tirahan na ng tirahan ang lalaki ng jump, ang lalayo.
uh,
So, sabi ko, I can understand yung feel yung na feel mo noon
uh,
na ikaw naman the other side, flip side galing ng south, punta ka ng Manila.
uh,
So, yun pala, come to think of it right now, you paved the way pala for, Visayas and Mindanao,
mm,
expert level riders, you paved the way pala to, kasi somebody needs to start. You started it pala.
yeah.
Ngayon ko lang na-realize. And now, hindi naman sa the strongest riders in the pro class is from the south, not here. Would
Well,
you believe? Well, di ba? I mean, nabaliktad. I mean, but somebody paved the way. You're one of those.
well,
You
well,
understand?
salamat, yeah, salamat. But siguro, dahil siguro sa, the trend of racing kasi in the north, in the NCR areas, and in the south is para sa akin is parang night and day.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said na taga South ang dominating ngayon sa mga races, siguro it's how racing is dito sa Visayas compared dun
Mm-hmm.
sa
Yeah.
NCR areas. So yes, maybe.
Yeah. Right, right. Kasi grabe eh. Out of everyone there in the starting gate, ikaw lang yung, from that region. So, iba yun. Iba yung feeling ng ganun.
Lagi akong in every day, dahil kasama ko lahat Tagalog eh. Ako lang Bisaya. Tapos hindi pa ako marunong masyado mag-Tagalog ng araw. Hanggang ngayon naman, hindi pa marunong masyado. Pero nung araw is bilang lang ang Tagalog ko. Siguro 10 lang ang alam ko. Ibalik-balik mo 10. So lagi kang kantsaw. Kantsado ka lagi.
Yeah.
Tapos yung mura ng Tagalog, can I
Iba.
say, can I say it here?
Sige, just for the, just to be objective about
For
it.
the topic,
Okay, sure.
yung putang ina mo,
Tagalog yan.
yan, Tagalog yan. It's just, for you guys, for Tagalog guys, it's just a figure of speech.
Yeah, yeah.
Yung putang ina mo.
Walang masamang intention.
Walang masama, it's just a figure of speech. But saying that to us, to a Bisaya, putang ina.
Really?
Oo.
Really?
Talagang, sa buto yun. Tagus-tagusan sa buto yun pag sinabi mo. Baguhan ako sa Manila. Pero,
Grabe pala.
yeah. Pati yung pambira. Di ba? Yung mga murang figure of speech for Tagalog. Pag sinabi mo sa Bisaya, talagang tagus sa buto yun. So, at
You
first,
need to go lahat ng yun. You know?
So, at first, talagang, ano ba to? Mali yata itong grupo, mali yata at lugar na pinuntahan ko, pero bahala na, di bale. Dahil this is what I want. Di bale, dahil this is what I want. Right. Lalo nila si Boots Chase. Walang hiya, di ba? Si Boots.
Yeah, mahilig siya sa ganun.
Si Boots, eh. Walang ibang, ewan ko kung si Boots na nanonood or kung sino yung nakilala ni Boots. Walang ibang alam yun, kundi putang ina mo. Para si Digong Duterte, putang ina mo, puro na lang eh.
Well, alam mo,
and knowing Boots President nagsisap ng araw, talagang pag sinabi sa'yo, putang ina mo, talagang matutunaw ka.
And not just that, kasi puti siya eh. Alam mo yun? Parang, grabe, Amerikano, di ba?
The German, si Boots, German.
German, tapos, di ba?
German, tapos ang galing magtagalog. Tapos mumura, putang ina mo. Walang ibang alam na word, putang ina mo. Talaga matutunaw ka. But later on, I realized na it's just a figure of speech of the, NCR guys. So ako, nakiputang ina na rin. Dahil, di ba? Dahil pag sinabi ko sa Tagalog, baliwala.
Yeah.
So I realized talagang meron tayong language barrier from the north south. So
you know what? Kuya Pepo, that is not just language, that's cultural. So I realized na experience mo pala yun. Culture shock kung tawagin nila.
Yeah, culture shock. Kayo pupunta dito, tapos kami naman pupunta doon nung araw.
Yeah, exactly.
Culture shock, kumbaga, culture shock.
Yeah, and then, Kuya Pepo, eto I remember, so that may be the reason why you are such a role player kasi you were forced na parang to adapt to a culture na hindi yung, ano mo yun? Yeah. And then, magaling ka makisama kasi I really admire that.
I have to nung araw na yun dahil, hindi ko pa alam eh. I don't know which side to go. Ang alam ko lang is this is what I want.
Yeah,
so, yung kaliwat kanan, bahala na yung tira, kaliwat kanan, no problem. Basta I can do what I want. So this is what I want. Karera, may motor, may uniforme, libre pamasahe, aeroplano pa. So kami dito, puro barko, land trip, pero pagdating doon sa team, aeroplano, sosyal ang dating. So parang, di bali na yung matira, okay lang yun.
Yeah. Living the dream.
Yeah, I'm living the dream ng araw. So, I don't know.
Yeah, living the dream.
Hindi lang nila alam yung iba looking at us from the outside in. They wanna be us.
All right. Kuya Pepo, shifting gears a little. Do you have any memorable race? Yeah.
Memorable
Kuya
race.
Pep po, any memorable race nung time na yon?
Uh, Actually, lahat naman races ko from then and to now is lahat memorable eh. Dahil in every race, napupuntahan mo is a new race, new racetrack. Iba-ibang tao, iba-ibang lugar. So
Right,
everything for
kuya.
me is
Go ahead.
memorable. Yung mga riders naman,
Ang
if
dami.
if we go to places and we talk about, if we talk about the race, kung
Yeah.
sino yung rider na nandun nung race na yan, yung pag-usapan natin, meron silang mai-contribute na
Mm. Right.
every
Sure.
race is memorable. Dahil pag pamili lang tayo ng race na, we will treasure. Sayang din yung napuntahan nating ibang lugar. Ang event nangyari doon. So, para sa akin, there's no such thing as one memorable. Siguro, lahat memorable. Sayang. Wala akong makita.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right. That's nice perspective na it's hard to pinpoint lang. Yeah. Pero anyway, I'm showing some pictures nung kayong araw. Alright, Pepo, you have been a pro racer. You have been all over the Philippines. You were number 4 for the longest time. And team races, game plan. The only time Shell Yamaha when you were running I think underdog kayo nun eh. Pepo, underdog kayo nun eh. Compared, mas malakas yung namin nun eh. Would you agree? Pero, you won. I mean, and I believe yun yung diskarte na meron ka eh. I don't know, yung pakisa, you know how to plan it. You know, you were a coach and planning anong mangyayari. Kasi pero you won a Honda. Remember that?
Yeah. This is a team race.
Team champion.
Yung Yamaha nag-team champion. Yung signal, abagal, napuputol yung signal mo eh. Aside from wala akong picture or video makikita, yung audio mo wala. Napuputol eh. Siguro this is why ganito ang mga signal ngayon dahil Duterte wants all the, tawag dito? All the telecom companies to set up na magiging bago eh. Siguro, no? No video, no audio. Sorry. So kung si Osang nandyan, nanonood si Osang, I miss you. Sana bumalik na kayo karela sa Mindanao para magkita tayo doon. Tapos, is Dodong Galia watching? Daw, yung side cover sa TS, baka meron pa iba dyan. Sayang yung video, walang audio.
Kuya Pepo,
Yeah,
I'm back.
yan.
Sorry.
Meron na. Audio. Yeah. Audio.
You hear me, Kuya?
Yeah. Is the video still on?
I'm back, Kuya Pepo.
Yeah. Is the video
Same.
on pa? Is the video still on?
Ay, yeah, man. Grabe. Where was I? Ano yung sinishare mo na kanina?
Napuputol-putol yung audio mo kanina about team race ba?
I see you, yeah.
Yeah? Sa team race ba yung topic mo? Dahil hindi nakukompleto napuputol.
Yeah, you know wala eh. Ikaw, you were live scene. wala. Oh man. Sorry. So, kung Pepo, talk about that, yung, you know, you were a team. Yeah. You were, yung, the team champ. Yeah. Actually, yung topic ko was from rider to becoming the leader of the racing team. And then,
Napuputol ka lang. Signal natin mahina
Papa,
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Lahat
hear
naman
me?
yata ngayon. Yeah, eto, yun.
Kuya Pepo.
Yeah. Go. Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can I sa most challenging na hat that you've worn sa sport natin? You've been a moto dad too. Papay was was successful, pero is it easy to raise up a champion?
Sabihin mong easy na mahirap, pero overall is hindi naman siguro dahil you love the sport that much na you want your son also to experience what you have experienced, yung mga good and bad experiences you want to, bigay mo dun sa anak mo para sa akin kasi I've been living my dream in motocross. So, yun. Binigay ko kay Papay. So, I turned it to Papay para siya rin matikman din niya yung how it feels to be in the motocross industry.
Yeah.
Dahil I never let Papay ride a motorcycle until siya mismo may sabi, Dad, I want to ride. Teach me how to ride motorcycle when he was 16.
Yeah, we heard that story.
Yeah, when he was 16. Because para sa akin, I've seen the parents kasi ng iba kong mga kasama how they force their kids to be a motocrosser, and all of them were not, well, most of them were not successful. Yung mga anak nila was not successful. Some were, pero hindi ganong kabilis. Siguro it took them 12,
Right.
15 years to be on top. In Papay's case,
Mhm.
am I bragging? in
No, no,
Papay,
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
in Papay's case, dahil nakita ko how the other parents, did sa mga anak nila, hindi ko ginawa yun. Dahil naawa ko kay Papay pag gawin ko yung mga ginagawa.
Yeah.
So when Papay told me na, Dad, I want to ride motocross, I want to ride a motorcycle, teach me how, everything, when he was 16. So I taught him,
Late na, no, Papa?
late na, 16. So nung tinuruan ko siya, dahil gusto niya, everything gusto niya, mabilis lang yung, input, madali.
Mm.
So his first ride was, he's 16 and he was expert on the age of 19. So it took him just 3 years
Just 3 years.
to be on top na. So para sa akin, it was not hard teaching or letting your kids to be in the motocross. What was hard for me was waiting. Yung ilang taon ko naghintay para magiging rider siya. That was the
Oh,
hardest.
yeah. Correct. Kasi 16 eh.
Yeah,
Late
that was
na.
the hardest part. So I never thought nga na magiging
He
rider
would.
siya. Yeah, I never thought
Yeah.
nga magiging rider siya dahil 16 below, he never showed, an interest to be one. Lagi lang siya sumasama sa akin, or minsan, most of the time, hinahata ko siya to go with me on practice and on races dito lang sa Cebu. So I never thought na magiging, motocrosser siya until the time na sariling gusto niya na magiging one. So it
Yeah.
only took him 3 years to be, on top. So
Yeah.
on your question, is it hard? It's not hard, but the hardest is, waiting.
The waiting.
The
Yeah.
waiting for ilang years, 16 years of waiting.
Grabe.
Yun ang mahirap eh. Yun ang mahirap. Thinking of it now, yun ang mahirap
Yeah,
eh.
yun
Hindi
mahirap.
yung paano ko siya tinuruan dahil yung pagturo ko sa kanya, it's what I learn. Lahat. What I do is, eto yun. So madali
Yeah.
lang. Yung paano niya na-absorb was madali lang. So how he made it to the top was madali lang. Yun na nga, the 16 years of waiting was the hardest.
Grabe, no? Grabe.
Was the
You know what?
hardest.
I kind of remember na when we were racing when we were beginners, si Papay wasn't serious pa nga eh. You were right there. He knows this. We talked about this. Ang threat sa amin was his other teammate. Etong sina Carlo, sina
Carlo
Ben.
Rodriguez. Carlo
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
but Papa, when nag-novice kami, oh man, Papay was serious na. Iba na siya. And actually, teammate kami, pero siya yung when nagwo-worry ako, hindi si Carlo. Kasi sorry Carlo, pero Papay was really, it was something during that time. And actually, he won the national championship then. In our class.
Sa Camel pa, no?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, medyo natuto rin ako ang ganda nung sinabi mo para sa lahat ng listeners natin na sobrang hilig ng parents and hindi nila nakikitaan pa yung kanilang anak. Na they just need to be patient kasi you waited 16 years.
Yun ang the hardest part of being a parent.
Yeah. Pero what you did was right. Kasi how can you say na alam mo yun, you're a loving parent kung pipilitin mo nung hindi pa time?
Yeah.
Right?
Dahil, yun na nga, nakikita yung mga kids now na how their rider parents pushing them to be, to do this na hindi naman pa kayang gawin ng bata. So what happened is pagdating sa pit area, pinapalo yung ulo.
Ah,
pinapalo yung bata, bakit hindi niya ginawa, which is,
not
it is
your
wrong.
style of
It is
parenting.
wrong. So,
Yeah.
maintindihan rin natin yung parent dahil ito yung
Yeah.
gusto ng parent. Ito yung frustrations being a parent, being a
Yeah. Yeah.
motocrosser.
Yeah.
And, being your son to be like you.
Mm,
Pero, hindi pa kaya ng mga anak mo. So, no
yeah.
matter how you teach your son on how to do things in motocross, pero hindi pa rin niya kayang gawin, di
Yeah.
ba? So, wala rin. Hindi rin 1 plus 1 eh. 1 plus 1 equals 0 tuloy.
Yeah.
Hindi
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
plus 1 equals 5 eh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Kuya Pepo, here's eto in the whole time you paved the way for the South to be rubbing against bar to bar with the best of the Philippines, which was dominated by Luzon and NCR
mm,
area. Kasi nandito karamihan yung sponsor, nandito yung series.
yeah.
Pero you weren't able to achieve number one. You were always the guy who somehow is the right hand guy, wingman nung naging one your teammate. But your son, I made a comment the other day, throwback, na Papa was the best from our generation. I mean, kami yung generation na kami magkakabatch eh.
Uh,
Yung seryoso, banggaan, training super hard. But
mm,
he emerged to be our number one, the number one rider. He became the rider of the year.
yeah.
How was the feeling when your son actually became the number one rider in the country? Ano yung pakiramdam bilang tatay na did you expect that? 16 na nagsimula. Tapos, alam mo na,
Well, I
narating pa yun.
never, yeah, I never expected Popeye to get into the expert class, to get
Okay.
into the pro class. I just wanted him to be, one of the guys in motocross.
Mhm.
But he turned out to be, the top rider dito sa Visayas and Mindanao on his days, sa panahon niya. So when he received, nakita ko during the awarding his Rider of the Year trophy, nobody saw na nasa likod ako. Napaiyak ako eh.
Talaga?
Napaiyak
Yeah.
ako. Hindi ko rin mapakita sa mga kasama ko dahil putangin na lahat ng kantsaw sa akin na yun.
Exactly.
Oh,
Kasi hindi mo personality yun. You're
oh,
always the
actually
loud, di ba?
napaiyak ako sa backstage
Mm.
dahil yung
Dream. Yeah.
yung fulfillment na nagawa niya is na hindi ko nagawa. But he
Mhm.
did it, para sa akin. Para dun sa apelido, sa pamilya namin. So,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
was one of, you know, siguro moments na,
Yeah. Proud moments, no? Grabe.
yeah, proud moments. Pero hindi ko napakita sa lahat eh.
Yeah,
Basta,
na
ang sinabi ko lang kay Papa ay na etong pagdating sa bahay, etong trophy mo, wag mo ipasok sa loob ng ulo mo.
mm,
Dahil pag pinasok mo doon sa ulo mo,
mhm.
mahirap.
Yeah.
Lolobo yung ulo mo. Ah,
Wow. And you know what? You were the original father and son pro rider, I think. I mean,
yeah,
I think yeah,
we were the
we
first.
have now Glenn and McLean,
Yeah,
pero
McLean. Yeah,
you were kayong magama
we were the
pro
first.
riders. Yep.
Father
Yeah.
and son in the pro class. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Amazing. That's something. That is something. That is something. Grabe yun.
yeah, yeah.
Pangarap ni LeBron James yan in basketball, pero I'm not sure he'll be able to do it. I mean, bata pa yung anak niya. Pero it happened here. It happened. You guys paved a lot of, paved way to a lot of historical milestones sa sport
Memories,
natin.
memories.
Yeah, not just your personal memories, but for the sport, man. Yun yung na-realize ko ngayon, just interviewing you. Um, anyway, uh, shoutout nga pala, so you'd know, mga bumabati sa'yo, 11, Jorlan, Arobe, Idol ka raw niya, Adrian, Philip, Nadella, Tito, sabi niya, share niya to, Josamer Bautista, hi daw, Coach G2, yan, sabi niya, wag ka lang mawawala, keep on talking. Naririnig ka namin.
Kaya nga sinabi ko kay Gito kanina, oy, yung side cover ng TS125 ko. Actually, I am restoring our 1979 TS right now.
Wow.
And, Dodong Galia said may nakita siyang mga parts for
Parts,
pull
very good.
out doon sa lugar nila. So I said I was looking for the side covers dahil wala na akong makita. Kahit sa
Nako,
Suzuki
wala
mismo,
na yan. Of
yung Suzuki
course.
mismo, wala. Dahil it's
Yeah.
very obsolete na daw.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, now let's shift gears again. And that was,
Second,
grabe. That was a lot of memories and a lot of first for our sport. You, father and son, you paving the way for the South, entering the scene, national scene, expert in the pro class to be, So now you are a race organizer. You're a national race organizer. And I want others to learn about your experience, your knowledge, so that we can grow the sport even more, Kuya Pepo.
yeah.
As a race organizer, ano yung sa tingin mo na essential equipments that they need? Kailangan ba kagad? Meron na kagad starting gate? Kailangan ba agad? Meron na kagad? What are the essentials lang? Small race,
For being what? Organizer. For
organizer.
being an organizer. In small races or big races, ang pinaka-essential lagi is to organize a race or an event is budget.
Yeah. Oh
Number one
my.
is budget. Dahil without that, everything is wala.
Yeah, totoo.
Dahil, pag may budget naman, we can do anything.
Mhm.
So if you want to be an organizer and you want to have an event, laging unahin mo yung budget dahil yung starting gate, racetrack,
Yeah.
para yung mga paraphernalias for being an organizer, madali na
Yeah.
lang yun.
Correct. Kuya Pepo, can you give a ballpark how much ang racetrack, if gagawa ng racetrack, I don't know, estimate
Cost,
lang, yung simple lang, simpleng track
cost,
lang.
cost.
Yes, cost.
Depende kasi din sa lugar kung how much it will
Depende.
cost. Dahil if you make a racetrack in Manila, like where you are right now,
Oh
mahal
yeah,
yung per
mahal.
truckload. If I make a racetrack dito sa Cebu, sa bundok, or sa Mindanao bundok area, which is, mura lang yung cost ng material. So,
Yeah, right.
mahirap din sabihin kung sino yung tanong mo, ballpark amount, kung magkano eh.
Yeah, mahirap din talaga.
But the number of loads na lang, let's just talk about the number of loads, yung truck loads to build a racetrack. Wag na
Yeah.
lang yung cost dahil yung iba naman dyan,
Correct. Iba-iba.
walang cost dahil nasa gilid lang kayong magkukuha ng
Lupa, yeah.
lupa, lipat din sa kabila. So yung cost is, wag na lang yun, tanungin. Yung number of truckloads na lang.
Maganda. Yep.
To have, para maganda yung supercross racetrack mo, 12 to 14 cubic truckload, yung mga six-wheeler dump trucks. Ang magandang racetrack, maganda. 50 truckloads, maganda na yan.
50 truckloads.
50 truckloads. So, kung sa Manila mo sasabihin is magkano? 3,500 to 4,000 per truckload times 250. Kung sa probinsya ka na gagawa ng racetrack, it's 1,000 to 1,500. Minsan libre. So, sabihin mo lang 1,000 per truckload. So, that's 50,000 din. To build a, basta lang racetrack, not a standard racetrack. But if you want to build a supercross standard national racetrack, it's about 100 truckloads, 80 to 100 truckloads.
Yeah.
Para, makuha mo yung tabletops, doubles,
Yeah, ang dami nun.
so blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, if you're in Manila,
Iba yung
100
presyo.
load, iba yung presyo. If you're in
Yeah.
Manila, well, let's just say sabihin mo nasa gitna, 1.5 and 1,000, 3.5. Sabihin mo 2,000 lang per truckload
Mm.
times 100 or times 80 truckloads. That's magkano? Mahal din.
Yeah. Mahal din. So, 6 digits din aabutin. 5 to 6
Yeah,
digits din.
just for the racetrack alone. Hindi pa
Mhm.
kasama doon yung cash price mo, yung
Mhm.
operational, expenses mo to operate.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
running a motocross or running an event is talagang, as I've said, unahin mo yung
Budget.
budget.
Unahin yung budget. Yeah.
Unahin mo yung budget kung magkano.
Yep.
Or, is there a budget?
Yun ang tanong.
Kasi kahit magpapakarera lang tayo ng fundraise, like what we always do in Vermosa, yung fundraise, like what we do here on Sundays minsan, it's just a fundraise, no cash prize. But still, you'll be paying for the trophy. Still,
Yeah.
you'll be paying sweldo para dun sa mga flag members,
Marshals.
para dun sa marshals, para dun sa starting gate operators. You'll still be
Mhm.
paying them. Walang libre yun eh. Ang pwede mo ilibre is yung
Wala.
mga riders lang na who will be joining the race just to have
Mm.
fun. Yun lang ang libre.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's still not,
It's not. Yeah.
it's still not a basta
Hindi biro.
event. Hindi biro. Mhm.
Yep. All right, Kuya Pepo. All right, so the budget, the racetrack, it varies, pero yung truckloads natin the same.
Uh,
Pero siguro yung kung if it's a fun race, may trophy pa din, merong marshals mahalaga. All right, so what are the sa tingin mo Kuya Pepo kasi we're kind of like putting some guidelines para maraming mag race organizer. Ano ang sa tingin mong knowledge naman na kailangan matutunan? I mean, is being a racer himself gonna be more effective than just somebody na hindi naka-experience kumarera and mag-organize ng race? I mean, can you elaborate on that? Gaano kahalaga ang experience para maging maayos yung pakarera mo? Kasi ikaw yung magiging in a sense jury. Alam mo na,
yeah,
maraming
yeah,
pwedeng mangyari. You have
yeah,
to know the rules. So,
yeah.
how long yung experience sa tingin mo and what are the rules that you need to know? Um, can you share?
Okay. Yung sinasabi mong rules is depende yung rules eh. We can follow a certain national rule or we can just have our rule para lang dito sa karera na to. So, rule-wise, kailangan nating pag-usapan before we start the race. Especially if it's just a local race, yung, fun race or local race, which is a barangay-barangay race lang. Wherein selected or hindi lahat invited, kung sino lang ang pupunta. So, we cannot impose the certain national rule na what we have into this race ngayon. Dahil this is just a
Okay.
tayo-tayo race lang. So, your rules has to be flexible. Hindi pwedeng ito lang.
Yeah, you have to be
Diba? You have to have,
contextualizing the rules
yes,
to the
yes.
setting. To the setting.
Oo. Dahil we have been to races in Mindanao in where yung mga organizers is, sad to say, hindi pa ganun ka-experience. And, well, wala kaming problema or wala akong problema dyan. But having this talk about rules is, okay, I'll just share
Yeah.
experiences we have.
Experience.
Yeah, meron kasing maraming organizers, they say, in Mindanao na nag-invite sa atin or pinupuntahan natin na they say na the rule is daw ganito. The rule daw is this one. So puro sila daw. They don't have their sariling rules.
Okay.
So most of the time, mangyari is kung may problema, the rule daw says daw, so pag we will go back to your question is how many, the experiences you must have to be an organizer. You must have a lot of experience to be one.
Mm.
Dahil to run the race is madali lang. But to solve the problems during the race, lahat sa'yo mapupunta eh. Pati yung
Yeah.
problema ng crowd control, pati yung problema ng starting gate, pati yung problema ng pagkain, lahat. Pagkain, pati yung problema ng
Mm.
mga riders na what's going on in the pit areas, pati yung mga problema ng riders in the racetrack, sa'yo na
Yeah.
pupunta
Sa'yo
yan.
lahat.
Hindi na pupunta yan doon sa mga managers. So if you don't have, that much
Experience.
experience, puro kang nga, ha? Ganito, ganyan na lang. Okay, so
Yeah.
ang nangyari is, kung sino ang medyo mas dikit kay organizer, sa kanya mapupunta yung role.
No,
Ngayon,
yeah.
ngayon si kabila naman, yung opponent ng protesta is magpro-protesta rin, papalag din yun dahil bakit ang yun sa kanya ang nagtutupad, yun sa akin hindi.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Exactly. So,
So,
chaos ang pwedeng mangyari.
so ang mangyari dyan is, after the race, lahat ng kwento is against you.
Yeah. Yun ang
Ayan.
malungkot.
Dahil
Although maganda yung hangarin nila, pero because of the lack of experience,
mm,
it will imminently mangyayari yung ganun. Fall into that scenario.
yeah, and most of the time, ang lahat ng maingay is yung mga natatalo.
Oh, yeah.
Lahat ng maingay. In all categories, halimbawa, yung budget natin is only this much. So you'll only have a 1, 2, 3 cash prize and trophy. 20 riders yan sa gate. Yung 70 na yan ang talo. So yung 70 na yan ang maingay ang mangyari. So ang
Yeah,
dami
imagine that. Grabe.
in one category lang. So yung ibang category, kung may nangyari doon sa category nila na medyo meron kang decision na naibigay pabor sa kabila, hindi, di ba, hindi yung tama or hindi yung magandang decision, sa'yo lahat mapupunta yan.
Yeah.
So, again, doon sa question mo, you have to have a lot of experience to be one. To be one na medyo magandang organizer. Well, I'm not saying maganda ako dahil ako rin, marami akong palpak nangyari din eh. So, doon sa question mo, to be one magandang organizer, you have to have a lot of experience. Big and small races.
All right. Correct. Wow. I mean, kami ni Ernie, naglagay lang kami ng 5 taon for a dirt bike coach. I think that will not apply if you want to be an efficient na race organizer kasi mas mabigat eh. Imagine if all the top riders go to your race, they all wanted to win kasi nag-effort na eh. Pumunta na, nagbiyahe, pumasok.
They have been training para dyan sa karera na yan.
Exactly. And
So
then here you
everybody wants
are.
to win.
Right, here you are. Yeah, fine. Nagkaroon ka na ng budget. And then, eto pa yung isa. How important is the race organizer knowledgeable about building a track, a safe and race-able track? You know, there are tracks na one-liner, walang passing point. So, banggaan na sa first corner kasi. And how important is yung knowledge sa building a track? Experience, knowledge for you sa organizer.
Okay. As I've said na naman, we have been to a lot of races. And most of the organizers na gumawa ng racetrack is nakita lang nila sa magazine or nakita nila sa video na this is how it's done.
True.
Diba? Meron, sa magazine ngayon, meron mga design ng racetrack eh. Meron mga design ng racetrack. Uy, ito
Ganda.
maganda to. Ganda to, pwede to. Itong gawin natin. Okay, a racetrack for a stadium design, ilagay mo doon sa isang basketball court na racetrack. Boom! Diba? So, magiging ang liit ng area doon sa stadium size racetrack design na gagawin mo, na ginawa mo, doon mo pinasok sa isang basketball area lang na lupa. So, hindi rin maganda.
Mm.
So, para sa akin, to build one is you have to be one. So, kailangan mong sumakay. Kailangan kang magiging rider din. Para ma-feel mo yung approach, yung distance, di ba?
Mm.
From
Yeah.
corner approach, kailangan mong ma-estimate yung distance na yan.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos kailangan mo rin ma-estimate yung angle ng approach niya. Etong angle na to, kailangan ang landing nito has to be this big, or etong angle na to, ang landing is kailangan okay lang maliit. You have to ride. You have to be a rider to make a good one. Para ang mangyari kasi is, for me, I always think of dun sa mga mababang riders.
Okay.
Dahil it has to be a safe track para sa lahat. As I've said, it has to be a pangmasa racetrack for everybody to enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah. Dahil pag ma-enjoy ng mga small, mabagal na riders, yung ibang pro din kasi, meron ding ibang pro na sabihin nilang, andali naman tong racetrack na to, madali lang to eh. Yes, for you guys, dahil you have all the knowledge naman on how to ride all kinds of racetrack. But you are racing, you are making a racetrack, and you are having an event, not just for the pro class, but you're having an event for everybody. May kids, may ladies, may beginners, may matanda, may pro lahat. So you have to make a racetrack that will match for all those skill levels. All those skill levels for everybody to enjoy. And for that reason, walang disgrasya. Pag walang disgrasya, everybody happy, walang sakit ng ulo sa organizer, being an organizer.
Yeah. Kuya Pepo, nasagot mo na rin yung tanong ko about, yung experience, ano yung na-experience mo nung karera na became made you a better organizer. So nasabi mo yan, very important na kumarera ka. Kasi you cannot understand kung hindi ka kumarera. I think that is what's happening in America right now.
Yeah.
Kasi itong Feld Entertainment, they're the owners of Walt Disney. Meanwhile, in AMA Pro Motocross, ito yung Coombs family. Sila yung Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
So now, when it regards to AMA Motocross, very solid yung rules nila. And they didn't have FIM even before. They don't need FIM. AMA kami. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
They don't have politics kasi solid kilala yung Coombs family.
Yeah.
May-ari ng Racer X. Pero in Feld Entertainment, nung nagsisimula sila noon, they have a lot of issues like that. Kasi medyo napapersuade sila nung mas malapit na ganitong team. Kung nasaan si Roger De Coster, yun yung rule ni Roger De Coster na susunod. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it happened even in the biggest money support. So I really agree with what you said. Kailangan yung leader, racer before. Yung organizer, yung leader, hindi negosyante lang, but racer before para hindi maulit o mangyari yung ganun. Diba? Now, next question. Ano yung pinaka in your experience in organizing races, what is yung pinaka threat? Ano yung threat to organize a race? Races, events are very important to grow the sport. Pero ano yung threat? Ngayon, may pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know kung ano pa yung pwedeng threat na naiisip mo na pwedeng mag-stop for us to organize races. I'm scared for the sport right now. Pero what do you think?
Yung napag-usapan natin a while ago, yung threat na sinasabi mo to be an organizer is yung merong last minute back out from commitments, yung sponsor. Yung sponsor mo may last minute back out on the commitments. Isa yun. dahil everything is a go na. Lahat ng riders is nandito na, yung mga invited mo is nandito na, and merong big companies dito, they can do anything.
Mhm.
You know, they can do anything they want. They can back out anytime.
Mhm. Yeah, totoo.
Kahit meron pa tayong black and whites, they can do that. They
Yeah,
can do that. So, I had experiences na ganon. So,
grabe.
yeah, I had
Ako din.
experiences na ganon. So,
Ako din, Kuya Pepo.
it's a big threat na talagang, di ba, talagang,
Yeah.
nako. Di ba?
Ah,
Alam mo yun? So,
Kuya Pepo,
yeah.
2014, namuti yung kalahati ng buhok ko kasi I had one big contract. Totoo, may contract, pirmahan. Pero
Yeah.
nung nag-back out,
Yeah.
wala rin eh. Magdidimandahan kayo, right?
Wala.
Namuti yung buhok ko. Ang malupit no, nandito na sina Bornok, nandito na sina Lagrada,
I
nandito
had,
na lahat.
hmm,
Nag-back out last minute.
yeah.
Um,
And these companies can do that to you,
yeah.
even if meron kayong black and white. So
Totoo.
that's that's the biggest threat of being an organizer. So
We
we
can't do
we
anything.
we try to find ways na hindi na mangyari yun. So
Yun nga eh.
in races sa Mindanao we did is we eliminated.
Down payment muna.
Kung magda-down sila, yes, magda-down sila, yun. So we eliminated that threat dahil in Mindanao races, we go, or it's the LGUs that are doing the events. Dahil sila yung gusto
Mm.
magpakarera. So what I did, and what we did is, in that part, in the budget part, in the invitation part, I don't do that anymore. I give that, yung trabaho, kayo na ang mag-invite. Kayo ang magbigay ng cash prize para na rin isipin nilang wala akong hawak na pera. So kayo na ang mag-invite, kayo ang magbigay sa kanila para if ever you back out, I'm out.
Okay.
Hindi ako kasama dyan dahil hindi ako nag-imbita
Right.
sa inyo. Sila ang nag-imbita sa inyo, hindi ako. Ako
Right.
lang nagpapakarera. So we eliminated that threat. So even
Okay.
din doon sa big companies may sponsors, that's what we did. So para lang ma-eliminate yung mga ganun last minute.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
Dahil I had
Grabe.
experiences na ganun. As what you said, namuti rin buhok mo.
Yeah. Nakakahiya eh. I mean, 'di ba?
And yeah, nakakaya doon sa mga riders na you have invited. Dahil
Aha.
yung mga riders is puro mo kaibigan yun eh, kaya pumunta eh. Tapos,
Yeah.
di ba?
Ganon.
Ganon ang gagawin mo, which is mahirap yun.
Mm. Kuya Pepo, next question is, how do you want to be remembered by the sport? I always ask all of my guests about this. You have done everything. You were yourself very much accomplished. Probably, arguably, hindi matatap. You pioneered people from the South na dominated before kasi na ang series noon ay nandito sa Manila. You paved the way, and now, arguably, Visayas and Mindanao, the strongest riders, stronger than us here in Manila. You paved the way, and then you had the son. You became a team champion because of your effort. You had the son who became the rider of the year. He is the best from my generation of racers. And then now you're a successful coach, race organizer. Ang dami mong hat na sinuot eh. Pero if you want to be remembered by the sport, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as isang hat lang, or I don't know? Legacy. This is a legacy question.
Yeah. I've heard you ask, a lot of riders that question in some of your episodes. And para sa akin, lahat ng fans mo or lahat ng tao who knows you is hindi mo sila pwedeng baguhin eh. Hindi mo pwedeng baguhin yung what they think of you. So some
Okay.
think of you as, I'm PEPO RUBI. Some think of you as barambado ka. Some think of
Mm,
you as, one of the top riders, and some think of you as a good guy. So this is what I want to be remembered. I want them to remember who I am dun sa isip nila, who I am to them. So to them, if I'm a barambado or I'm a gago, so be it. That's
mm,
how they think of me. So to the others, if they think if I'm someone or somebody in the field of motocross, thank you very much. So that's how I want to be remembered, on how they know me or how they remember me or
right.
how they, kung paano nila ako nakilala as a friend.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why you're
Dahil,
happy. That's why you're
yeah, dahil,
happy. You don't
dahil
please
hindi,
people.
you cannot please everybody.
Right.
Kahit yung the best friends mo dati, hanggang ngayon, pagdating dun sa panahon, you cannot please everyone. So, to
Mm,
your question how I want to be remembered, I want to be remembered as how they think of me
right.
before and na ngayon. Dahil hindi mo pwedeng baguhin o how they think of you eh.
Right. I remember one time Asian race. That was I think in Manila in here in Marikina. And then di ko makalimutan to. I was a beginner rider noon. Si Glenn was super scared to line up kasi you are lining up against Japan, Thailander.
Uh,
And then what you did was so funny. He was there in the cubicle na ihian portalet and you shook that portalet super hard and Glenn was like, "Whoa!" And everyone, all the pit, pati yung mga Hapon, mga Chinese, I don't know, were right there. And then ito si Glenn lumalabas, kalog na kalog. And I mean, you were that guy. I mean, you're a leader, you're an influencer, you're a funny guy. Pero you did that para mawala yung kaba nung lahat. You want to break the ice. And it helped. It helped. Kasi maski kami, hindi naman kami yung premier class noon. Beginners pa lang kami. It broke the ice. Wow. We have to chill. Masyado
yeah.
tayong seryoso. Let's have
Mm.
fun because we love riding. We love racing.
Yun na nga.
And I think that's who you are for me. For me, in my head, I can't remove that. And another thing, meron tayong karera noon sa, I think, in somewhere, di ko alam,
Maraming
maybe,
karera eh.
yun dami.
Uh,
Kuya Pepo, putek, it was a mud race. And I remember, that mud race, sabi ko sa'yo, hold on, mauubos yung battery ko. Sabi mo sa akin, during that mud race, was, sobrang pagod ko. Sobrang hirap na hirap ako. And ito sinabi mo sa akin. Alam mo, Sam, tuwing karera, doon mo malalaman yung mga hindi mo ginawa, kakulangan mo sa training. Hindi, I don't know if you remember that, pero pumasok sa akin yon. So after that, every race, I made sure na I won't have that parang, alam mo yung parang regret na
uh,
meron akong hindi pre-practice nung practice and then during race day na encounter ko. I mean, I'm not your son. I'm even kalaban of your son. Pero we're teammates pero you gave me those kind of jolly advice na stick to my head. So I want to thank you and I want to remember you. I remember you as that. That's what's in
yeah.
my head when talk about you.
Yeah, salamat. That's why, your question is, that's how I want you to remember me. Dahil hindi
Right.
ko pwedeng sabihin sa iyo na remember me as the good guy who did ganito, ganyan. Ha?
Right.
Pero sa loob-loob mo, hindi naman totoo yun eh. Dahil hindi ka naman ganun. Diba? So I want
Yeah.
you to remember me as how you remember, as how you know me, as how you remember me. So
Yeah.
if, yun na nga, yung iba is para nila I'm talentado, so be it. Thank you
Mm.
very much. At
Right.
least you remember me as talentado.
Yeah.
And back to the
You
question din
remembered
again
you, right?
kanina. Yeah, and back to the question din kanina, which are the memorable races? As you have said just ngayon, you know, marami, almost all races are memorable dahil every race has kanya-kanya iba-ibang kalokohan or iba-ibang nangyari in every race. So you can put one race into the most memorable race. Di ba?
Mhm. Mhm. Right.
Hmm.
Anyway, Kuya Pepo, I've bothered you too long. I hope to have you on the show on a different topic. And
Yeah,
salamat, maraming salamat.
yeah.
Do you have
Thank you.
any advice for neuro riders or riders na wants to transition to be a race organizer, a coach, a moto dad? You grabe, na-experience mo lahat eh. Any advice?
My advice, okay, my advice to those who want to transcend to the next is, you know, l- love the sport. You have to love the sport and you have to love your sarili. You have to love yourself.
Mhm.
Kasi if you don't love yourself, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun eh. Dahil, pag gusto mo maging organizer, as we have talked about some, na magiging organizer ka for the money or for the love of the sport. Dahil pag you'll be an organizer or you'll be a rider for the money,
Mhm.
mawawala yung focus mo dun sa sport eh.
Yeah,
Dahil,
correct,
di
correct.
ba? Dahil you'll be looking after or you'll be looking for the money instead for the love of it.
Mhm.
So kailangan you have to love the sport and you have to love yourself para magawa mo yung gusto mong mangyari.
Correct. All right, Kuya Pepo, words of wisdom. Anybody you want to thank all throughout your career, all until now, today? Nako, ang dami niyan, baka may magtampo. Pero
Kaya
sasabihin ko na, huwag kayong magtatampo. Talagang napakadami nyo lang. Pero go ahead and try your best not to
wala.
forget anybody.
Actually, hindi ko masabi dahil eto na punong-puno. Ang dami nila. Kukulangin tong oras natin. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ganito na lang. Um, to all those friends ko na
Mm,
who are still in the sport and yung mga friends natin who are outside the sport who are still, you know, uh, friends pa rin natin. Thank you very much for the support. And Sam, thank you very much for this opportunity na binigay mo
anytime.
sa akin
It's
to
an
be,
honor.
yeah, to be live dito sa programa mo. And hopefully you'll have more of this para naman we can, we can promote
Right.
and we can encourage a lot of people into it.
Mm, yeah,
Dahil,
grow.
as they said, motocross is, sabi-sabi nila, is a rich man's sport. So they say.
Mm,
Dahil nga daw, motor and equipments are mahal. Pero if you love the sport, wala imposible.
mm, yeah, true.
So, yeah. So, again, most of all, I'd like to thank the Lord for giving us, a healthy body, giving us
Mm,
this life natin ngayon.
mm-hmm.
So, thank you very
Yeah.
much. Hopefully, you'll give us more, hindi naman more, but extended few
Mm-hmm.
more years
Yeah.
to enjoy life.
All right.
Yeah, hindi lang to enjoy motocross, but to enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
Yeah,
Right.
so again, say no to drugs. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I always say before. Dati pa,
Mm-hmm.
say no to drugs. And ngayon, dito sa pandemic, stay at home. Pag lumabas ka, wear your face mask and your
Yeah.
face shield. Wash your hands, social distancing. Dahil itong pandemic na to is hindi pa natin alam kung hanggang kailan to eh. And ang malupit dito is hindi natin nakikita kung
Yeah.
nasaan siya eh. Di ba? So,
Mm,
do the
yeah.
protocols na lang to be safe.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Mm-hmm.
much, Sam, again.
All right. All right. Thank you, Kuya Pepo. And thanks, everyone. Daming mga kaibigan na wanted to say hi. Too many.
Yeah,
Natabunan na yung comment nila. Pero siguro, uh, that's enough. Generally, pinasalamatan mo sila. And you spoke with the conviction and sincerity. Kuya Pepo, good night.
yes.
God
Okay,
bless you.
thank you very
See
much.
you soon. See you soon.
See you
Hopefully,
soon.
after
Yeah,
the
okay.
pandemic.
Yeah, see
All
you
right.
soon. Thank you very much.
This is Sam Tamayo and PEPO RUBI.